Hello, besties. Welcome to Chronically Cozy Chats, a podcast normalizing a cozier way to do business for chronically exhausted entrepreneurs. My name is Randy, and I am a cozy content strategist helping chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs grow their business in a way that works with their capacity. Today's guest is Candice Catoire of Soul Cadence Coaching, who is helping entrepreneur moms ditch the 24/7 hustle and burnout and finding some balance in the home and business. And today we're going to talk about how to manage not only being a parent and business owner, but also being neurodivergent on top of all that. And she has some great tips to share to help anyone struggling. So sit back, get cozy, and let's chat. Welcome to my Cozy Chats podcast. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
This is so great. We've been like friends and chatting for a while in our little mastermind group, but this is our first chance to really get to know each other. I'm very excited.
I know, it's exciting. No, it's like Threads and Instagram and then the mastermind, and now we get to chat one-on-one.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh, Threads. This is like a conversation I have in every podcast almost. Threads is like my place now. I love it.
You show up there so well too. It's great. I love it.
All my life I was told I talk too much, and turns out it's a benefit now.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I guess so. It's working for me at least. So Candice, can you tell us what you do?
Yes. So in my day job, I'm a mental health therapist, but in the online spaces, I'm an author and a burnout and balance coach for indies, freelance, creative moms who are running their own businesses. And I especially work with neurodivergent and chronically ill moms. So yeah, that's what I do.
That's so awesome. I am so excited to get into talking about the combination of being a parent, being neurodivergent, and being a business owner. Like I was saying, I think you're like one of the first people I've had come on who has kids, which is crazy because that was never the way before. I was always the one that was outnumbered. I don't have kids by choice. And so, yeah, it's just like, it's not something I understand at all. I have my dog. He is my baby,
Uh-huh.
but he mostly just does his own thing.
We have a cat that does the same. She just does whatever she wants to. So
tell me about the whole journey of getting into like starting your own business.
So I've been working for myself in some capacity for a while, since like 2015. So 11 years now. And it started as private practice therapy. So getting that business figured out. And then the pandemic hit and I had two kids that were they were a year and newborn. They're 14 months apart. So my son was born right when the world shut down and my daughter was just a year old. And I had left my practice in one city because we moved to another. And I was like, okay, I need to transition to something different. I have two little kids. My husband's working. The world is in chaos. So I transitioned to coaching and published my first book. And I also was doing online psychoeducation for kids and teens, which was wonderful. I loved that. So I was running that business. And that's kind of how I made my way into the business world. Was I needed to be home with my kids, and my back-to-back pregnancies really triggered some of my chronic health issues. And I spent about 9 months living and working from my bedroom. I needed something where like my kids could be around and things like that. So
yeah,
I figured out a way. So.
Because it is what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that pandemic, like for all of its bad, it seems to have done, I don't want to call it good because, you don't want to think of something that killed millions of people as doing good, but it really opened up so many opportunities for so many of us and like just kind of kicked, those dreams into high gear.
It really did. It also changed the landscape of a lot of industry. So prior to the pandemic, the therapy world was so limited on telehealth at the time. And one of the reasons that I could get back into the business, back into like therapy now for like my day job is that telehealth component.
Yeah.
Where I can like make my own schedule. And so that also shifted the coaching world and artistry and creativity and how we share our artistry with the world. And so it's been an interesting outcome of something that was so horrific.
Yeah, right? That, like, it will never not blow my mind how long it took us to put those things, like, online and over phones.
Right.
Like, the fact that it took till, like, more recently for me to be able to get, like, just prescription refills over the phone, like, the simplest of thing that you used to have to
Right.
go into a doctor's for. And, like, therapy seems
Or
like it
to be
just
able to do it through their portal, even.
Yeah! Yeah, or
Like,
to just do it straight online and not even have to It's
yeah.
so mind-blowing to me that, like, how long it took. And, like, therapy seems like it's made for that. Like,
Mhm.
talk therapy, if you're not using any extra modalities, how are we not doing that over the phone forever?
Right. And it just changed the dynamic, but also access to coaching, access to therapy all changed. And so
Yeah.
it's been an interesting experience.
Yeah.
So,
The big changes that I really hope stick around. I know a lot of places now are trying to do, like, back to office movements, and
mhm.
boo all of them because
That's all money. It's all money.
And, like, how is that making them any more money?
It,
Just,
it's,
like, I don't get it. It seems like you could, like, leave people at home and save on some, like, real estate, but whatever. I mean,
yeah.
can't be me. Will not be going to any offices anytime soon.
I do love my in-person days, but I love the flexibility of
Yeah.
being home most of the time.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
fair. So in your coaching business,
Mhm.
tell me again, like, tell me more about what you focus on doing that.
So I focus on I call it building a burnout-proof life. So helping people build in rhythms and systems so that they feel like they have balance and they're not burning themselves out doing too much of the wrong thing, not enough of the right thing. Help them build confidence in the business they're running, what they create, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And for moms specifically, how to navigate that all while also having the mental load of your household, because we're the ones doing schedules, we're the ones doing drop off and pick up, we're the ones that are, you know, and even if for those of us like me who are blessed to have a very involved partner, we're still coordinating everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do I do all that and not totally lose my ever loving mind? So that's what I help them with. That's what I guide them
And
through.
how do we do that? Because I have, like, half of that and my mind is, like, gone. So the fact that you're functioning sounds really impressive.
It is difficult, right? I've had so many moments where I think I can't do this anymore. Something's got to give. And one of the things that I work with my clients on is I help them focus on intention and values, getting those aligned, and then knowing how to identify what's necessary in certain seasons. So I took most of what year are we in now? We just hit 2026.
Yeah.
I took most of 2024 off from talking about coaching, doing any kind of coaching at all, to focus on rebuilding a private practice. And so I help clients identify, is this a season you have to do everything? Because you literally can't. Or what can you like pause for now? We're not saying it's going away. It's like, what can you pause to refocus on? And so it starts with the values and the intentional alignment of, is what you're doing moving you forward to what you want and what's aligned with your values, or is it not? And is that because of you, or is it because of like actual necessity? Because sometimes we can't actually meet our values, right? My value is nobody would go hungry, but I don't have the means to make that happen. I can make it happen in a small capacity, but I don't have the means to like change do it for everybody.
Yeah.
So sometimes our needs and our capacity, especially as chronically ill people or neurodivergent people or moms or what have you, impacts how far we can reach our values. But I start with values and alignment, because if we're not looking at that, we are going to lose our mind, because we're going to try to do everything. We're going to try to take on things, and it's not going to work.
Yes, so much. I was like honestly just writing about this, about how like you just have to check in with yourself like in the moment, because like it changes constantly,
It
like
does.
especially with like the mood swings and the chronic illness. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like the worst roller coaster I've ever been on. No fun at all.
Right.
Screaming does help, does make it a little bit better, but
sometimes you need a really good scream.
Sometimes. But honestly, just like being able to look at that and being like, okay, what is my actual priority?
Right.
Where does my energy need to be today?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like, I have a bare minimum list of like things that are like, you know, this is what has to get done. And then everything above and beyond that is like, okay, where's my energy? What can I do? Is it high? Can I do content creation? Yeah. Or is it low? And I'm just going to do like the admin task today. That's a huge part, like thing that I talk about in a lot of it. As a coach for neurodivergent people, do you find that you end up being like a second brain a lot of time?
So I try not to be. I try to help them build the skills for it. But I do allow for a level of accountability. And I don't even I don't even go out to seek being a coach for neurodivergence. I just happen to attract neurodivergence a lot, or
attract each other.
Sometimes undiagnosed neurodivergence. And so it's yeah, exactly. So it ends up being more of like a companion than a second brain, is kind of what I think about. And also one of the reasons that is because I emphasize for my clients that their systems don't have to look like the rest of the world. They don't have to make sense to anybody else. They don't have to, like, if you can go into your kitchen and your kitchen makes sense to you, but your neighbor would come in and be like, this is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. It doesn't matter, because your neighbor doesn't live there. And so, like, if people open my dining table has drawers in it. It's an IKEA table that folds up and has drawers in the middle. And on one side, it's filled with my kids' socks, because it's right by our laundry room and our front door. And so, like, if anyone were to open up our dining room table, they'd be like, this is the most ludicrous thing. And I'd be like, I don't care. My kids know where their socks are. I don't have to go all over the house to put them away. And they're right by the door when they need them. And I have 2 kids that are neurodivergent, and I am neurodivergent. It needs to be as easy as possible.
Yes.
So
the neurodivergent systems, they always end up like, I mean, even to us, they look silly. We recognize that this is like looks silly.
Right.
But it works.
But the only reason it looks silly is because society has told us what's not silly.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is like normal or what's not silly. And so that's part of why, because I help my clients build things out for themselves that are what's going to work for you and the neuro mix of your household, and then work within that system.
Yeah.
So
I do find a lot of times when people come to me like with, you know, they're just feeling that overwhelm and everything, I always let them kind of dump it all into me. And then, like, you know, if it like empties their brain, I take what's important and like can help them reorganize it. That's why
you're like a sifter.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else too, who they felt like this, you know, they were working with neurodivergent people and they were doing this, like, you know, kind of becoming that like second brain for, you know, just there's so much up there.
Yeah.
This needs
it doesn't shut off.
For sure.
Yeah, because it doesn't shut off. It just is.
Yeah.
It's a continuous, like.
Yeah. So what are your favorite systems that you put in place or help people put in place when they're just getting like overwhelmed with everything?
So I like helping my clients first figure out what is their what is actually making them feel like that stress. For some moms that I work with, it's stuff in their home. And for some, it really is stuff in their business. And that's causing an impact at home. And some of it, the home is causing an impact in business. And so I figure out where that is, and then we start there. But a lot of times it's chore systems. And so emphasizing that, look, you can't be behind on household work because it's always there.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
that one's huge.
you can do your dishes, but they're gonna get dirty again today. You can do your laundry, but you're going to wear unless you're gonna walk around in your birthday suit, you're gonna get clothes dirty today. And if you have kids, they're gonna get probably multiple sets of clothes dirty today. Like it just you kind of gotta so helping reframe some of those things is also important. I really help with the reframe of like certain things. Like you can have it all, but you can't do it all. You have to know where to delegate, where to offload. So another thing that I help them is what systems can you like, let's find a system for delegating, for offloading, for, maybe you're not a content creator. So let's find a way to get content for you that's like not unethical and, things like that. Like, let's commission work. Let's, do like hire a ghostwriter or, hire someone to do your copywriting, something like that. Or honestly, for a lot of us, it's how can we outsource or delegate some of these household tasks?
Yeah.
How can we get that off your plate? And for some moms, that's not realistic. And for some, it's as simple as giving your kid one extra chore or speaking up with your partner of like, hey, I can't do this on this day. You need to take it over, whatever that looks like. So those systems, those are the kinds of things that I like to help them identify. And then we look for what's working and what's not working so we can build up more of what's working and decrease what's not working.
That's such a good place to like start in.
Yeah.
And like just that communication factor as neurodivergent people is so difficult. Like sometimes you really do have to have somebody else help you find those right words and the right way to delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Because just being able to like just saying I need help, especially when you have like a neurodivergent partner as well,
Yes.
doesn't always work. Like you can't just give a person like a one thing. I see like TikTok jokes about it all the time. Like, the woman asks the man to take off some of the mental load, and then he's walking around like, where does this go? How do I do this? What does this mean? Like, and it just like ends up being the same thing. You have to be able to like find those real communication points.
Yeah, that's something I emphasize to my clients too. My clients that are in partnerships, in relationships, is you have to decide what part of this you can take on. Because there are some women who really don't like it when their partner asks them to give them a list. And understandably, like you live here too, look around, see what's happening. I don't mind. I don't mind that. If it means it's going to get done, I'll give you a list. Like, I don't care. Or like some women don't like it when their partner goes to the grocery store, their husband goes to the grocery store and is like, what brand do we use? Or what, so 99% of the time, I don't care. Send me a picture. I want to make sure you get it exactly right. Send me the picture. I'll answer it if I can, whatever. But some women don't. And so that's something I work with my clients on too, is what mental load are you willing to or can you take on, and which one can't you?
And I feel like so many of us are like so used to taking it on that we all have like our way of doing it too. Like I have a lot of things in my house that like I like to do it my way. And like the dishwasher is the funny one we always have the argument about because I like rearrange what he's put in there. And I'm like, well, I'm mostly just rearranging because I have new stuff to put in here and my stuff doesn't fit because And he's just like, gets so mad at me. I'm like, look, it's just a thing. Okay. Like, I like to
Mhm.
have it a certain way. I am fine with the fact that I am taking on this extra effort to have it this way.
See, we have done the opposite, or I guess not the opposite in my household, but I do it differently because when we started off, I said, I hate doing laundry. I will never do laundry. You do the laundry, I'll do the dishes. That ended so quick because of our living situation, me getting pregnant pretty early on in our marriage. And then for a while it was working. I was doing dishes, he was doing laundry. Um, but that switched. And so I don't say anything. I'll open the dishwasher every morning and be like, some of this I hate. I hate this so much. But I don't say anything because I don't have to do it. So when I put a dish in, I just put it in. If he wants to rearrange it, he does. But he does our dishes most days.
Yeah.
And I do almost all of our laundry. And I still hate it. I still hate it. But
That's fair.
we have to go with what we have capacity for
Yeah.
when we're chronically ill. Like, we have to figure that out. And so what I
And I
said I
know,
would never
like,
do, I do.
so when it comes to the point, because like, the realistic side of it all is some of us don't have a person to or the money to offload these things.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have so many things going on. How do you help somebody at that point? Like when they're just like, everything you're offering, like all these tricks and whatever, they're like, I can't.
Okay, so how do I help people that don't have the resources or the support or all of that? Some of that really does come down to what um it I see it sometimes in my work in two different categories. One is the people who are not actually looking at their solutions. They're just it's a very they tend to look at everything very negatively, so it's really hard at that point because sometimes at that point, no matter what solution I offer, it'll just be met with resistance and a no. But some people, when you present creative solutions, creative support options, or help them see what they need to just like drop completely, then they start to work within those systems.
Okay.
And then once they build up their income in this business, they can start to pay someone to do some of these other tasks, and we build up from there. But for the people that are genuinely just, I don't have the support, I don't have the resources, so give me some ideas, we look for what we can offload at that point. Like, what are you doing too much of now that you don't need to be doing as much of or as often? But let's go back to the dishes for an example. Are there ways to, what we don't want is we don't want them to become the opposite end where they're just never doing it and it's just building up. That does happen. It happens to us in our hardest times, our hardest seasons of life, right? But it makes life super complicated when that happens. So is it possible if you happen to have a dishwasher at home, like you were, like we were talking about loading the
Yeah.
dishwasher, unloading, can you just, the way that you were describing it, I'm assuming this is a single person with her kids or, you know, can you just put in the dishes you use that day, rinse them out, put them in, and then don't worry about running them? Is there a system where you can put them in right after you eat and then, you know, run it at the end of the night, whatever. So we find those kinds of systems, like where can we finagle where you're not feeling overwhelmed by the task?
Mhm.
Because maybe for a single mom, waiting till the end of the day, which is what we do in my household, is too much.
Yeah.
Cannot do it. It's too much. So after breakfast, you just load it real quick. After lunch, you just load it real quick. And then you unload like in the morning. It would just be whatever works for their lifestyle. So we look for those, or we just look for tasks you can offload. What are you doing too much of now? Is Instagram taking too much of their time? So they're not creating. They're not, but it's also not seeing a return. It's just causing stress. Well, let's cut out Instagram because maybe you're seeing more success on Threads. So let's stay there.
Yeah.
Or maybe social media is not at all for this person and their business and what they're doing. And we need to focus on, blogging, website, YouTube, podcast, whatever that is for them. So helping them find things they can offload. What are you doing too much of that's just not serving your life? And that's not a monetary thing. That is what is keeping you from time with your kids. What is keeping you from time with yourself? And some of that is a reframe around you and I have something similar in common, that our job or our work becomes our hobby. And we can tend to feel guilty for that because we feel like we're a workaholic, or, I should have a different kind of hobby. And I do agree. I personally think everyone should have a non-monetized, non-exploited hobby. You don't put it on the internet except for every once in a while. You're not monetizing it. It's just for you. I think that's great. But your other hobbies can be work related and you can still find fulfillment in them. What stops us sometimes is this feeling of guilt. Like, I'm supposed to be doing something else. And so I help kind of reframe that too, where if it's not taking away from your life and you just enjoy the thing, then do the thing.
Yeah.
If it happens to relate to your business, great. Just accept that it's there.
Actually, the thing, like, I was honestly just like complaining about that yesterday, is that like I get into working and I tell myself that I want to like, check out early. I want to like stop working and do something more hobby related. And then I just get so into what I'm doing. And like by the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I just like wasted my day working. Like I could have done more. But then also, like, if I do look back at it and think about it, I did enjoy a lot of that time. I was, maybe creating something. I was doing some blogging. Like that's what I like doing. I tend to like switch up tasks too, like because I feel like I need a break from work, but then I end up just doing a different work task. And I do always end up feeling like a little bit guilty for it, but also I love it. I love what I'm doing.
And I tend to work with or talk to a lot of moms that are in creative businesses, writing, artistry, music, crafting, those kinds of things. Their hobby was their business was born out of their hobby.
Yeah.
So to say don't spend as much time on work doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? So my monetized hobby is writing. I don't count it as another business. I count it as a monetized hobby. At this time, that might change. But then to tell me to stop writing doesn't make sense because I love writing.
Yeah.
It's just something I love to do. So I do that reframe with people so that they can feel less guilt around that. But when it's someone who is limited on time, resources, and for us that are chronically ill, energy, it really has to be about offloading, and it has to be about seriously looking at what can you offload. And it might not be anything related to your business or your kids. It might be you, and people hate to hear this. I hate to hear this because I am a TV watcher, but it might be one night of TV.
Yeah.
Right? It might be not doing one hobby so you can do another one. Like all of us only have a finite amount of resources. So you have to figure out, maybe it's taking that $15 for Netflix and putting it towards a Canva subscription or whatever that works out, like whatever that works out to.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense. Yeah, just having like finding that balance in that time, especially when you just love what you do.
Yeah.
It can be so difficult. And like as coaches, like especially working with people with like limited capacity, do you ever feel like you're just like given bad news all the time? Like, sorry guys, but the best thing I can tell you is you need to not do that thing. Sorry, like, and you have to accept your lower capacity. I hate giving that kind of advice. Key though.
Taking that kind of advice.
I hate taking. I'm so bad at taking. Oh my god! Like the next person.
I do hate giving it, but I hate.
I hate being told to pace. Yes, I know I have to pace. Yes, I know I feel better when I pace myself.
Right.
Do I want to slow down though? No. No, I don't. Do I want to take a
Exactly.
break when I'm mid-hyper focus? Absolutely not.
Right.
So
But
hard.
do I want to pay the 3-day fine of it afterwards? No, I don't really want to do that either. And for those of us that are also doing this while moms, we don't always have the ability to take that 3-day fine. And then it just compounds on itself. So I am very lucky that I have a husband who's very involved. But even sometimes we have seasons, we're in one right now where even if I'm in a flare, which I was for a few days, but I'm kind of moving through it now. I can't just stop.
Yeah.
He has stuff that he has to take care of. So I have to be there and take care of things. And we share things pretty equally here at our house, which is great. I love that. But there are seasons where I have to take on more. Plus, I'm still running a private practice and I'm still marketing my books and I'm still, I've taken a slight step back from marketing my coaching, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those seasons where I have to look myself and say, you have to lower capacity somewhere. You have to offload somewhere because otherwise you're going to make yourself sick. And I can't take a 3-day, whatever. That like today I probably needed a little break and I have not been able to give myself a break. So I'm going to figure it out for tomorrow before I volunteer at my son's school. But so sometimes for us moms, we can't let the crash happen. So we have to accommodate somewhere else. And then, or we end up, which something that some moms have not been like in the past, I've had pushback on is where I say from other chronically ill moms in other spaces where I say, sometimes I just have a bed day where my kids just hang out with me in my bed and we do bare minimum for food. And people are like, no, I can't do that. I have to do, and I'm like, okay, then don't. But like, you're going to pay for it later.
Standards or
right. You're going to pay for it however your body decides later. If you're telling me that you are chronically ill, you have then your body will tell you what the tax is later. Mm-hmm. So I am going to take a bed day and I'm going to give other moms permission to do the same. And so, yeah. So that's what I do.
Okay, so let's talk about the mom side of things.
Okay.
I want to hear more about the mom side of things. What are some of the ways that you help like yourself and other people to adjust working with your kids around?
That was a hard one for me to figure out. So when I first started my business, part of what I was doing, my kids couldn't be around for it.
Yeah.
And obviously they can't be in the room when I'm doing therapy now in this season, right? Like that would be a ethical violation, crossing some lines. So for the things that they can be around me for, it took a lot of like reframing.
Yeah.
Plus, if it needs focus, I help them kind of differentiate which tasks require their focus and which ones they can do while their kids are running around. Like I can build a Canva graphic while my kids are like playing if I need to. But I cannot film with my kids around. It's a block for me. I don't like to do it. I have done it, but I don't like to do it. One, I don't want my kids on camera very much.
Yeah.
I'm so minimum on that. But two, I get easily distracted by what I'm doing when my kids are running around. So, but some women are great. Some moms are great about filming with their kids around, but to focus on a Canva graphic would like send their nervous system into chaos.
Yeah. Because we all have like something different that
exactly. So I help them identify that. And then we talk through, some of it is the reframe. Okay. Kids should see you engaging in work. They should see you engaging in fun hobbies. They should see you reading your books. They should see you like, hey, mom has these limits that age appropriately. Mom has these limits that we know about, but look what she's doing. And then some of it is I also tell them, like, bring your kids into it. Maybe not
Yeah.
filming. Try to keep your kids off the internet. You know, personally, I try to keep my kids off the internet, but let them like engage in your work or your hobbies. Show them how to do the things on Canva and how to create
Yeah.
things or how to draw. My kids love when I pull out my iPad and my Procreate
Yeah.
and they like to color in some, like I'll duplicate the picture and then they'll color it like a coloring page when I'm working on a new sketch or something. So involve your kids in the process. Let them know what you do and how people pay for it. And, you know, if you're a baker, let them bake with you and see how people enjoy what you make and the treats. And so including them in the process changed everything for me. And so I help my clients figure out where to do that. And then where to say, like, maybe these are the tasks you do when they go to bed or while they're at school, or if you can hire. Another thing moms don't like to hear, and I know financially this is really hard because I didn't do this until my kids could go to school. Having childcare helps.
Yeah. I bet.
Like it just, there's no way around it. For most people, childcare is going to be the biggest difference maker in how you can do these things.
Yeah.
And so until we were able to put my daughter in kindergarten and my son in assisted pre-K, I'm still our primary childcare, but like I was home with them all the time. So, you know, what do you need to do when the kids are in bed? What do you need to do when they're in school? Can you hire childcare even for 4 hours a week?
Yeah.
And then what can you get done there? Because it is hard when you have 2 kids around and all the time and you're trying to be creative and draw pictures and all you hear in the background is kidtainment 24/7. So, which is one of the first things I help my client offload. Don't do it. If you're still stuck in that rut, one of the biggest things you could do for yourself is at least give yourself 10 minutes a day of your entertainment. Movie, TV show, music, podcast, whatever, just where it's not Mickey Mouse and Coco Melon 24/7.
Oh my gosh, I could never. I like love me some cartoons, but the like really kiddish ones, couldn't do it. Couldn't listen to it. Candice, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about your business and how you're helping moms and everything. Can you tell us where people can find you?
Yes. So I have a Substack, which I'm growing right now. I'm leaning into that. And I'll send you the link for that. It is called Soul Cadence Musings. But I'm also on YouTube, which I will send you the link for too. But that's where I do my interviews and I have solo videos and I'm growing that this year as well. So those are the 2 best places to find like full content and to get to know what I do and what I stand for and what I care about, things like that.
It's amazing. And I'll make sure to drop all of those links down below. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me. I'm going to close it off here. If anybody else wants to come and share their story, please check all the links below and I will talk to you next week. Bye.